Hi, everybody. Welcome to DBT. And I have an echo, don't I? Do I have an echo? Okay, I need to do something about this mic. But welcome to DBT, everybody. It is Women's History Month, and so we are ecstatic to bring you the Women's Only show. So we have a group of beautiful Black women on with me today, and I'm going to start just throwing out names, and then we'll get into interviews. This is Jessica. She is the owner and CEO, correct, of Sika Media Incorporated. Regina
Yes.
Edmondson, who's the owner and CEO of CME Catering. And we have Shay Johnson, who is the owner and CEO of Black Boss Summit CTN Media. Welcome, ladies. Everybody's muted.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hey. Yeah.
Yes, look at this round table. I'm so excited to get into some business today. So I wanted to have you all here because we know how it can be for Black entrepreneurs, period, and Black female entrepreneurs seem like we get hit twice, doesn't it? But
Maybe 3, 4, 5 times.
Maybe 20 times over. Shoot.
Hello.
right, but we overcome, right? We
Yes.
have. So
Yes.
congratulations on all the success, ladies. Jessica, let's start with you. Tell us about Sika Media and what you represent for the public.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Can you guys see me? I can't really. Okay, cool. Great. So my name is Jessica Campari with Sika Media Inc. And what my business does is we are a social media agency. We help small businesses, entrepreneurs know how to use social media, but more importantly, we help manage, market, maintain all that stuff you don't want to deal with. We love to do it with social media.
Nice.
I need you.
Right?
My auntie's in the house, y'all. My auntie's in the house. I'm
There you
sorry.
go.
Big deal. Yay. Hi, auntie. Okay. I'm done.
All right. Well, over to you, Regina. CME Catering. I mean, come on, girl. We all love a good time.
So, CME Catering. I am a full service catering service. I also offer meal prep. I work predominantly with nonprofits and small businesses and individuals. So I'm not your traditional wedding caterer. So I work more on a contract base. And again, having been in the nonprofit sector over 20 years, I understand the limited resources that nonprofits frequently have. I know for small business owners, you're competing with the big guys and you want to be able to show up and not use all of your resources on your food, but on promoting your business and promoting what you're doing. I've been in business since 2014.
Nice. Congrats. We're going to get into that nonprofit portion. Shay Johnson, my girl.
What's up?
Right? Tell us about what you do. Tell us about your business.
What don't I do? But in this capacity, CTM Media is my baby that I birthed about 2 years ago. And it all came from wanting to really change the narrative, what it stands for, and really start to promote Black voices, Black entrepreneurs, Black policymakers, everybody that's Black doing great things. And so with that, I partnered as well with Jice Johnson on the Black Boss Summit, which now we're in our 5th year, and I've been partnered with her as the co-creator for the Black Boss Summit, and we are bringing Black entrepreneurs together. It's a network to really increase where you're at. Let's talk about where you're at and where you want to go. And so we bring in the head honchos, really, if you will. Last year we had Hill Harper in. The year before we had E.T., the hip hop preacher. And the lineup just keeps getting better and better. And it's all about really giving us the opportunity to be in rooms that look like us, feel like us, and then help us advance. And so we're excited to be a part of this landscape. We know Colorado doesn't have a lot of things that are built just for us. And so we're really about making sure that narrative stays in our community and we expand what that looks like.
I love it. So, Regina, you touched on nonprofit. How many of you ladies are nonprofit?
I have a nonprofit component.
Okay.
Yes. My business is not nonprofit. I work with nonprofits.
Okay. So tell me about that. When you're working with nonprofits, how does that look for you as a Black woman trying to get those contracts?
Yeah. So for me, there's two components of it. One is I want to be in community. I want to serve community. So that's the driving force behind everything that I do. So in that nonprofit space, I've had the opportunity to work with Brother Jeff, like every Thanksgiving when those meals are going out to community. I'm putting that together. I'm cooking. I'm getting that together, and we're able to feed our unhoused neighbors, our those that are food insecure. Martin Luther King Day outside of the statue. A month ago, I had the opportunity to get over 2,000 meals prepared and over to the center to hand out. So those are the things that in partnering with nonprofits gives me joy, because you're doing what you do and you're giving back and you're serving community all at the same time. And the same for.
Is that me?
No.
Okay, we may have lost her. Just a little.
I just want to piggyback on what she was saying. It's been such a blessing to have Regina in this space. As most of you know, I co-work with Brother Jeff as well. I'm one of the co-hosts on his show. And so she has been providing excellent meals. Because, you know, a lot of times when we do the giveaways and you go to food giveaways, people are packaging up sandwiches and chips. And Regina's doing real meals. And so it's a blessing to see someone like this be a blessing to our community who's usually on the have-not side. So I just want to tell her thank you for this, because it's been a great help amongst the community.
Well, tell us about your work with nonprofits as well, Shay. What I want to know is, are there any obstacles that you have found that you have to encounter in getting those contracts or getting the nod to go ahead and do the things like getting the Martin Luther King dinners prepared and things like that?
I think one of the biggest things is we had a nonprofit partner for a long time. And what you start to realize is they're not built to help you stand on your own. And so as you're in this transition with them, they're taking out their percentages, but they're not helping you build your nonprofit, right? And so there's not a lot of Black organizations that house as a nonprofit leader and say, yo, you can come and hang up your hat here and we'll make sure that you get to a space where you can be your own 501c3. And so that's been the greatest challenge, is transitioning to a space where we're like, how do we be our own 501c3? And then how do we help someone else that's trying to come up? And so with that transition, Jice has been really instrumental in now building something called Aya Foundation, which is its own 501c3, but will also help other 501c3s that look like us and feel like us. Because a lot of our businesses, we don't have the capacity to have everyone in each of those seats. So a lot of the grants we're not going after because we don't have all the employees. So that competition doesn't become fair, when you are literally the sole proprietor of your whole organization. Yeah. And so it's really been an eye-opener to see what happens when we don't have the economic power, we don't have the manpower. We're now starting to position ourselves and say, how do we really position ourselves, but then help bring someone else up along the way?
Funding is an issue for lots of Black entrepreneurs. Jessica, have you encountered the funding problem with your social media business?
Yes and no.
Okay.
When it comes to social media, it's still a world that people are trying to figure out what we are and what we do.
Uh-oh. Somebody doesn't want this message to get out there.
I know. I'm like, that means we're doing good.
The devil is a lie.
Right.
Tell me. Okay, she's back. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. What was the last thing I said?
Start from the beginning.
Okay. That's technology, guys.
Right.
So 2010 introduced it. They were teaching in the schools, and now we're at 2022, and now it's being introduced to the communities. But now people need to understand social media. There's one part in there, media. Media constantly changes. I tell people it changes every year, every 6 months, every 20 seconds. Well, now with social media now needing to be kind of revolutionized differently as a tool, not socially, but for businesses. And when it comes to funding, you can, if you are a true skilled videographer and photographer, and you know a computer background, you can be smart and have little equipment, make a big impact, but not kill yourself, fundamentally, or when it comes to money wise. I've been blessed to get grants. I've been blessed to get help and support. But like I said, when I got into this industry, I said, I'm not worried about money. I'm worried about my quality.
Okay, good. And
I
go ahead. Go ahead.
I would love to speak to both of those points, both what Shay was saying, what Jessica was saying. And I think that wearing a dual hat has been a benefit to me. So being in executive leadership in nonprofit for over 20 years and then starting a business where you're working with nonprofits, it's a benefit because of your systems. I know your procurement. I know what resources you're lacking. I know what resources you need. And as a business owner, at the same token, I'm a fund developer. So I write for millions of dollars. I fundraise every day. That's my sole responsibility in my regular job. And so when grant opportunities come up for small businesses, I'm already looking at that and all over it. And that's where in our community, we often don't know that these resources are available. Like, quite frankly, my COVID year looked very different in a positive way than the previous year, with the assistance of grants and things that I applied for. And it also gave me the opportunity to pivot what my business model was, because 2 weeks into COVID, I had 27 contracts canceled. And I'm sitting there like, this is, and I booked for the whole year, right? So I'm like, my entire year is just wiped out. And I was able to pivot. I started a Chef Mill Express part of my business. I was able to get grant funding for that and secured other grants. And then that then continues to allow me to go out and serve community and do the things that I do, because I do have that additional support. So that access piece is critical for small businesses.
So you're writing your own grants, or do you have a grant writer?
I write my own grants.
Okay, so that is a skill that I think our community doesn't, not everyone in our community has. And consequently, a lot of entrepreneurs that are African American or Black in our Black community don't get those grants. They don't get those contracts because we don't have that skill. That's something that's for a whole nother show. We need to bring you back and we need to share and network that knowledge for, real talk. So with that being said, the grant writing, 2020 was a pivotal year for a lot of businesses. They either made it or they didn't. You know what I mean? Shay, how did your 2020 look?
I have to say I was absolutely blessed in 2020. And I think Regina hit the nail on the head. It was the pivot. It was, how do we pivot, position ourselves for profit? And that was really what I started to adapt and see that, okay, the old ways are not going to work in this new year's, but what skills can I monetize? And so there were a lot of businesses that said, okay, I can't go do these elaborate commercials, but I can sit down with you and I can do an interview and I can use this and put it on my website and it can draw traffic to me. So I really found ways to pivot. We were doing our Black Boss Summit and we said, normally where we do, everybody comes in the room and do all these things. We have to go virtual this year and we have to be realistic about what that looks like. But what did that do? That gave us international exposure that we had never had before. Right. And so with that, it was really a mindset shift of saying like, no, you have the skills. Now you have to believe more than any other time. And I think we were able to shine in that aspect. It was really an amazing year in the sense of, there was a lot of things going on. We had some days and I think I gained like 20 pounds. That's not the big deal. But it was a great pivot to really decide how do we still make it in this new world.
That's a true entrepreneurial mind. And for anyone listening, failure is just an opportunity to learn and pivot, like you're saying. And for those who did that pivot, Jessica, did this feed into your business? Because everything in 2020 went electronic. So we were all on, doing the meetings and everything, Zoom, and I know a lot of people needed you. How did your 2020 look?
It definitely threw me off. I, opened in February 2020, made it official, and then COVID had just hit. And I'm thinking, oh crap, this sucks. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to do this month by month, base by basis. No, not at all. Before you know it, I'm getting one client after another. I have to, I had to pace myself, but I just pretty much went headfirst into fire. and I loved it. I absolutely was so excited. I cannot tell you guys because I'm a tech nerd. Regina will tell you I'm a big tech nerd. I love to figure out stuff. So it felt good. I got through into a fire that it was exactly my realm. But again, it definitely exposed me and made me realize, oh my gosh, this is going to stick around for a hot second. I need to get in the mojo. I need to figure out how these people are doing that. So then I had to really take notes. The clients I was working with, I had to really take notes of, okay, what are they struggling with? What are the obstacles? What are we dealing with? A lot of it was being in person, but a lot of it was introducing this world of streaming. Streaming became a whole new vibe. People are like, we're going live and someone can see me the exact moment right now. Yes, but streaming became powerful. Even though going to events was minimal.
Ooh, busy today. Going to
I
events
was like,
pivotal. Going to events was pivotal.
Yes, the biggest pivot was being a social media person and coming to an event and showing myself. People are going, so this is what you look like. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's still growing as we speak. Social media is now starting to now really develop what it looks like outside of just.
We're going to get it together.
I am, yes, exposing you, but now I'm at a stage where, yes, 2020 and 2021 is about exposing you. We in 2022, now it's about benefiting you.
Yes. How have you benefited in 2022? I mean, you said you got a thunderstorm of business. So
yes, I got a lot of exposure. I don't even know. I can't even describe to you. I've just been poured with the endless of conditional support and love. People curious, people who want to work with me. At the same time, it's also made small business owners a little, I don't want to say nervous, but they're just like, they're mind blown. They are absolutely stunned of the work I do for them. And the biggest thing I loved about, I actually had an event this past weekend and that event itself was actually a big benefit because it wasn't even a benefit. It was just nice to know that the things I'm doing for small businesses is out of my heart because I want you to grow. I can't stand all these mom and pop shops dying left and right. So it became like a.
Oh no. Yep. Those mom and pop shops are key to our community.
Yes, and losing these mom and pop shops, now using social media to now keep them alive and going. For example, Regina, I've done her social media. Do you know how fun it was when recording, taking pictures, and then getting them up there and exposing her more and people just able to find her? Because at my event, I told people, if you're not on Google, you're not on some kind of platform, you do not exist. So making people be aware that you have to have a digital present. If you don't have it, you don't exist. And that's a hard concept, but it's nice to know that some people are catching on, but I still want to teach. I want to coach people and let them know we can make you exist no matter what.
What I absolutely love about Jessica is, one, you can trust her with all of your social media, your platforms. You don't have to oversee. You know that you're in good hands. So for those folks like myself, where it's like, I really don't want any parts of that. I just want to, that's not my skill set. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to write grants. I'm going to, make food. I don't want to figure out what time of day and what algorithm I should post at this time for this long on this day of the week. None of that. I don't want to do that. Jessica nails it every single time. But not only is she skilled in that area, but she teaches you how to do it. And, some of us are, we are brought along a little slower than others because I don't want to, but she tells you and gives you the information you need so that you can do it yourself. You can be impactful by doing it yourself and have her support. So it's the both, and it's all of it. And that's what I really appreciate about her and her talent.
I love it. So, I want to get back to some of the specifics about starting a business, but I do want to give you all an opportunity to plug your businesses as well. So that's a plug for you, Jessica. Tell it. So do you have tiers in your business where you can go, somebody could, like Regina can just say, handle everything. I want to be completely hands off. And then others can say, set it up for me. And then I will sail the boat once you get the boat in the water. Do you have tiers, or is there just one package?
As of right now, I have two packages. There's a small business packet, then there's the corporate packet. Most of my people are small business owners, and I get a little mixture of both. I get some small business owners that are like, Regina, here, do it. I don't want to look at it. I trust you. You got this. I'll see the results. We'll follow up. I have some business owners that are a little skittish and scared, and especially in my health field, and they want to. And I have no problem holding you by the hand and walking you through, because I understand both concepts. Again, this is something new. People are still getting comfortable with. Now they're getting comfortable with, but you have two different kind of people. And I love that, because the people I've walked with, they become loyal. The people that are like, you got this, they're still by my side. You get to meet all kinds of people, and you get to educate people. Now, how fun is that at the end of the day?
Right.
Just say.
Right. That's your wheelhouse, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to give everybody a chance to tell us and plug their business, but I want to jump into, take me back to the beginning when you were first starting your businesses. First of all, I know it's a scary step. You got to kind of just get yourself out there, but it's also an empowering step where we say to ourselves, I'm doing it. This is where my heart is. This is where my passion is. I'm jumping out there. I'm going to take that leap of faith and I'm going to do it. When you started, what was your biggest obstacle, and what can you tell other people who are wanting to take that leap? Tell us, Shay, what were your thoughts? What were you thinking, and what can you tell other people to make them want to take that leap?
For me, I'm crazy, so I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, which is ridiculous, right? I think it's just changed in the realm of what that looked like for me. And I think the biggest obstacle was always thinking there was going to be a perfect time to start, a perfect time for this project, a perfect time for this type of leap, a perfect time to write the book. There's no perfect time. The only perfect time is now, starting. And so it's really what you're battling, I think, the whole time as an entrepreneur is a mindset of, am I good enough? Is now the right time? Do I have the infrastructure? Do I have a team? Do I have the support? All these things that you're battling is a mindset. And so at some point you have to start and just know that you will be provided for and you'll be okay along the way. Because there's no for sure check that's coming, right? I can't say I'm getting paid on Friday for sure. And I was watching my friends live like this, and I was like, I don't know what that's like. I have no idea what you're talking about. So really believing and saying, like, now's the right time. I'm going to start, and I'm going to use the knowledge I have now to become better and better and better, right? We apply the knowledge that we learn along the way. And so for those people that are sitting there and saying, should I start it? Am I ready? If you have the thought, you're absolutely ready. And no one else around you may understand your vision, but it was given to you for a reason.
Yes. Regina, what do you say to that?
I'm going to say ditto what Shay said. You're never going to know when the time is or it's the right time. But I'm going to say to manage your numbers and manage your time. You should know every single number. You should know all of your cost of goods. You should know what's coming out, what's going in. And you should know, again, speaking to like Jessica managing social media, where is your time best spent, right? Manage your numbers, manage your time. Know both, how you're spending every minute on your business, how you're spending every dollar on your business. Those are the two most important things to me.
Take notes, everyone who's listening. I mean, no, it sounds easy, but it is something that is so absolutely needed to manage your time and to know where your money is going. A lot of us jump into business and we think, oh, I'm just going to start. Do it. Yeah. However, when you don't do what Regina said, when you don't manage your money and you don't manage your time, you end up getting to a point where you're like, where did it all go? And how am I not able to take that next leap without without having to ask for another grant or another loan, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But managing everything, Regina, is key. I love that you said that. Jessica, what little tips would you give somebody who's thinking about, I mean, social media and management now is really big. What would you give to somebody? What are the tips that you would tell somebody?
For my company, it's all about technology and it's all about timing of technology. I could say I can really have a clear thought. Like I said, 2010 is when everything was introduced and kind of just watching it. 2015 is when I saw there was kind of a curve pivot when Google became more than just a search engine. It became so much more powerful. It was more like with anybody who's in technology, watch Watch your big companies. Watch Apple, Microsoft, Google. All these companies, pay closely attention to them. You're into it like me, and you're just like a big nerd, and you are all into technology. You want to really pay attention what is happening over time. Now, I'm going to say COVID was a big impact. It was a major impact. COVID is what really kind of turned everything upside down and said, hey, we're actually going to need this more on the forefront, not really something fun in the back. So for me, it's media. Media constantly changes. So you have to be flexible all the time and be willing to make changes.
Okay. I love that.
Oh, one other thing I want to say is to never sell yourself short, right? So people will tell you that price is high or that's a lot. Know your value, and again, know your numbers. Because if you don't know your numbers, if you don't know your cost of goods, if you don't know what it took, what every single cost, the flour, the sugar, every single ingredient cost to then produce that product, then you don't know what your margins are. And if you don't know what your margins are, then you're going to be open to accepting what is given to you and not what you work for, what you earn, what you deserve. You are giving a quality product.
I agree. And sometimes you have to stand firm in that.
Absolutely.
You absolutely have to know your worth and don't let somebody back you down.
Yep.
Regina, that's a word. That's a whole word right there. Okay?
All of it.
Yeah,
all of that.
And that's easy. I think as Black women too, we second guess, right? We devalue ourselves right away. And we're like, you look at, and I always tell people the grass is only greener where you water it. And so you look at something over there and you're like, ooh, that's better. And that's this, and it's shinier. And there's these things. So a lot of the time we don't put the right prices on our products. There's a lot of time we're like, I don't want to go in there. And I actually had an investor once tell me, well, now that you're saying you only are charging this month, I'm starting to wonder about the quality that you're producing, because I see you at this value, but you see yourself here. So what are we even talking about? And he was like, no, I'd rather you shoot way up there and let me take you down, but don't devalue yourself, because you're walking into spaces where you're more than qualified, and then you're selling yourself short. Right. And so especially to our Black women out there that are really trying to figure out where they land, go high, sis, go high.
Yep.
And then that presents the opportunity to sow into the places and the spaces that you want to, right? That presents the opportunity to say, yes, I can partner with you. Yes, I want to donate here. Yes, I want to support that. It puts those decisions in your hands.
Yes.
Right.
Instead of the 20 hands that you gave a discount to here and there, now that decision is being taken away from you. I want to be able to make my own decisions, be responsible for my own decisions financially.
So it seems like, we always hear it takes money to make money. But yet we see our counterparts who are not Black with businesses, and it seems like you said, Shay, the grass is always greener on the other side. What I always say to that is, but you don't know what they're doing to maintain that. So if you're not going to put in that kind of energy, your grass is going to look like what you're putting into it. Have any of you had to deal with the SBA, the Small Business Administration, for any kind of startup funding or anything like that? No? Mm-hmm. Did any of you get, we just talked about it briefly, the grants that were offered in 2020 with COVID. Did any of you apply for those and get those grants?
We did at the Black Business Initiative. We applied for that, and we did receive those grants.
Good.
Yes.
Can you talk to the people out there? I think they even said that there's still some available.
Oh, shoot.
If they wanted to do that. I mean, we feel like sometimes we're not supposed to be getting that money, and we sit back and we don't apply for them. We need to start taking advantage of what is out there for us. It's the same thing that's out there for everyone else.
Stefani, you said it best, is a lot of times is we don't feel like, right, it looks daunting. Everything feels like it's going to take so much more than what it does. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing we do help you with at the Black Business Initiative. If you need help through the process, ask someone for the help. Because a lot of the times things seem like way more than they are. And you're like, I'm not going to fill that out. It's too much work. I'm not going to get it. My books aren't in order. All these things stop us from really going after the funds. And so we were like, no, we need the funds. And we know we're going to do the right things with the funds. So we're going to go after them. And then we got it. And so I just tell everybody, like, go and get the help that you need in order for you to get the funds that you need to get to that next space. And a lot of the times it's the lack of knowledge stops us. It paralyzes us. And then we're just stuck. Right. And so we got to go after it. We just do.
And we have to know where to get the knowledge from. I mean, there are so many Black businesses out here, so many Black entrepreneurs, and who are willing to help, who are willing to share the secrets that we have, but no one's reaching out and asking us. We think that we have to reinvent the wheel. And sometimes it's right there in front of us.
That part. Exactly.
Did you have something, Regina, that you wanted to add to that? Did you have to deal with SBA at all, or was it mostly the grants in 2020?
I did not deal with SBA at all. I applied for several grants, and I think I applied for 5 grants. I received 4 of them. And then I'll say this, like, be prepared. So prior to COVID, I had my P&Ls, I had my books together. I did, you do your taxes early. So then when the opportunity comes, and to Shay's point about you're stressing about this application, you're good because you have every document you need. Everything is current. You're current with the Secretary of State. You're current on your taxes. You have all your P&Ls for every quarter. You're current on everything. Attach file, make a note, hit send, have your script together, copy, paste, copy that exact same thing on this application, on the next application, on the next application, hit send, hit send, hit send. So if you're prepared in advance of it, then it's not going to be as daunting. But if you see 4 or 5 different opportunities coming your way and you don't have your P&L together yet, or you haven't done that's going to be, saying that's stressful to me. That's going to be stressful. You know what I mean? It's going to feel big and overwhelming. And then you're going to say, it's not for me. It is for you. It's there for you, and let's go get it.
Right. And for anyone out there that's listening, P&L is profit and loss statement. You've got to get your documents. She said it already. Regina said it already. You got to have everything in order. You've got to know your time, manage your time, and manage your documents.
Your numbers. Yeah.
Your numbers. So keep that in mind. We're trying to get more Black businesses started, more Black businesses successful. If you have any questions, ladies, do me a favor, drop your information in the chat, so that anyone who may, wants to get in touch with you, there may be a learning opportunity out there for you, Jessica. Regina, there may be a catering event that somebody will need. And we know, Shay, you're going to drum it in. You're going to, bring it in. If there's somebody that needs to reach out to your media corporation or wants to get in touch with anything that you're doing with Brother Jeff, we can get in touch with you. How do you feel in today's market going forward as a Black business owner? It's not like it was. I mean, I'm not going to try and guess anybody's age. I know a lot of you though. And so, but we've been out there for a minute. How do you feel today and going forward versus where we were 10, maybe even 15 years ago? Shay. Let's take this, Jessica. Jessica, you've already told us, because social media is everything. And here's the other thing. There's a lot of young girls out there, high schoolers, who are. I have some nieces that are, taking coding classes. That is so vital and brilliant in today's market. I need to go back for a coding class. But what do you say? How does it look for us in the future?
I will say this right here. This phone right here is going to be your everything moving forward in the future. That's a big shock for me too. When I was hearing even my nieces underneath me, I'm not that young, but now I'm able to be like, wow, they're actually doing HTML coding classes. They're learning about Google software and things like that. When I was in school, I was learning how to actually use the big hunking computer and how to actually type and what all that meant. And then by the time the smartphone came out, that was a whole new thing in itself. But I think I could say to the young ladies and to all of us, technology is going to keep becoming more diverse. Mm-hmm. I will say, keep everything you do separate. Your business is your.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So going forward into today, I think what we all have to pay attention to. Go ahead, Shay, or Jessica. So go ahead, repeat. So it comes up a little bit at the end.
I know. It's just all I'm saying is keep everything separate, everybody. Okay. As time goes forward, technology is going to increase. Things are going to get more complex in good and bad ways, however you want to put it. Hey, listen, I've seen robots being used in restaurants as servers.
Yeah.
Like technology is going to keep increasing. All I'm saying is keep everything you do separate and don't forget to have everything as a hard copy, because at one point hard copy won't even exist.
Good idea. Good idea.
That's right.
How does it look how do you guys think the future looks for Black entrepreneurs? There was a time back in the day where people used to say, you know, we were late, our Black businesses weren't responsible enough, and so they didn't deal with us. Black everything right now, right? I mean, we do it. We're putting it down. What do you say for the future? How does it look for us?
I think that we're at a space where we're more than a trend. We're finally more than, the things that they've seen. We're more than athletes. We're even more than entertainment. And so we're getting that staying power now. And I'm watching now Black CEOs emerge from doing corporate business to opening up businesses that are fully functional that we're going to see in years to come. We're also now getting in spaces like tech, STEM, and spaces that they don't see us often in, and we're thriving. And so what I'm seeing now is like Black business is here to stay, and we're here to grow. And what I would say most of all is the need to collaborate is more now than ever. That's going to put us in position to really go to the next level. We have to start collaborating with one another. And we have to really start uplifting one another, because these businesses are actually here to stay. Like we're seeing, we watch, about 90% of our mom and pop businesses be wiped out in 2020. We took a lot from that. I think we really started to see, like, wait a minute, our network is our net worth. And so let's keep networking together. Let's keep showing up, because Black businesses are going to the next level, and Black female entrepreneurs are at an all-time rise. And I'm watching my girls kill it in real estate. I'm watching them flip houses just like they were white men. Right, so when I tell you we are really advancing, it's no joke for us right now. And I think that we're going to see how this starts to be more than just a trend.
Right. Regina, do you want to add to that, or what do you think? I want to say this. If you're not supporting Black businesses, you need to. We're getting it right. We're doing it. We're putting it down.
And Black businesses need to support other Black businesses.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to say that I see an incredible future. I think for many of us in a certain age range, which, I went to school with Stephanie, so I can't even, she already knows all the numbers. But you don't have to do as much by yourself. You don't have to figure out as much by yourself. Go to Black Boss Summit. You walk out of there with things that it took you years and years to learn and trial and error and try to implement it. You walk out of a meeting with Jessica and she has you covered instead of sitting trying to struggle through. So I think with all of the resources that are available for our Black owned and operated businesses, we have so much space now to just thrive in the areas that we're skilled at. We can just keep moving forward and just thrive, because now we have the support, we have the resources. That starts to break down those barriers of trying to figure out, how do you file for your business? How do you, all your taxes, like all of the how do yous. There's so many resources now. The NAACP Economic Development Center, that's a free space for our folks to come and work in, to meet clients in, to get support for businesses in. There's a media room. There's a huge conference room. Like, take advantage of each and every opportunity, and you can just keep moving forward,
So that answer, Sydney McCall just sent in a comment. She says, I've always struggled with the support from our community. And so, Sydney, the NAACP Aurora is a great resource center for you.
Sydney, call me, girl. I got you. I know her. She's awesome. She's amazing. Call me.
Okay,
that's my girl. I absolutely love Sydney. That's my girl. That's like a sister. And I think that's a huge thing, though. And Regina brought it up. We have to support one another, right? And I always tell somebody, if you light somebody else's light, it doesn't dim your light. It takes nothing away from you. And so we have
Exactly.
to show up for each other the same way we want white businesses to show up for us and white owners, and we have to show up for one another. And it's a real thing. And so not only do we need to show up and support other businesses, but we have to show up for community, and the community has to show back up for us. And it's a whole around the world type of circle concept, right? But as we start to build these Black institutions, we have to really be critical about putting our people that look like us in positions of power, showing up for each other, making sure that we are clear about what the agenda is and how do we support one another. And
Right.
so many times I think that's how I go into conversation with people now is, how can I support you before I even ask for anything from them? How can I support you? I think that's a big thing that we have to start showing up for one another.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's on period. Period.
Right.
Period.
Shay, you touched on something a while ago when you said it's your vision, it's your dream, and I'm paraphrasing because you said it, but I remember Tyler Perry touching on the same thing where he said, you know, God gave him a vision, and he had even his own mother telling him, baby, maybe this isn't for you, but he had to go forward because he knew what he wanted he knew what he was passionate about, he knew what God gave him a vision for. So when we have that vision, don't let anybody talk you down. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. Even if you feel like you're failing, sometimes that failure is a learning opportunity, and that is an opportunity to push you forward or into a direction that you're supposed to be going. Regina, you're right. We went to school together. I know, I know y'all from. I think I've known Shay. Shay, I know you for 19 years, right?
Yeah, forever.
Even longer. I'm not gonna date anybody, but I remember the challenges that we faced in the 80s. You know, thinking that how are we going to get started and where can this go? And then look at us today.
Yeah.
Not only have we struggled and pressed on, but that vision has to stay there. If you have the vision, you've got to press on. You've got to do what you've got to do. Resources are more prevalent than they were back in the 80s and in the 70s. So we have got to be networking like crazy to get this information out there, to get everyone else the opportunity to start their own businesses. And there's so much that we can do. I know Black FedEx drivers that are Black FedEx owners that own a subsidiary of FedEx. So there's a lot out there that we can be doing, that we need to be doing, and that we should be doing. How are we with today? We have Instagram and Facebook and social media platforms that give us an opportunity to put our businesses out there without having to endear ourselves to struggling like we used to. Jessica, we navigating that can sometimes be daunting as well. Is it something that every Black person should be investing in order to even get started?
I want to say yes. Every Black person needs to invest in some capacity. Now, I will say this, like I said, there's that separation. I've had clients who don't like social media, but they have it. At least have a profile or something. And that's all I ask out of people. If you truly just don't want to get into it, but you have a little something, that's what all we need as social media managers, because we kind of have to pretend to be you, if you will. And then in a way, create whatever your business is, but we got to link it to you, send it up to you, connect it to you. So as a business owner, you need to have some digital presence, because I've worked with clients who also don't have anything. But if I created their business, people want to see what the business owner looks like. So I have to expose you. They don't want to be exposed. Their business doesn't take off. And then the business kind of dies in the background, and then you don't exist. So people still want that realistic aspects. And that's the conversation I have to have a lot. So I say, if you don't want to be in social media, fine, but have some kind of presence online. If it means a Facebook page with one cute picture of you, and that's perfectly okay. So
can you have an Instagram page that's private?
Yes, you can. You can have private and also a business page and a professional page. So yes, there are options out there. They've made it more flexible.
Okay, I love that. I love it. So then we can live. You see people who are so comfortable with living out loud, and
Yeah, I know.
I applaud them. But then there's some of us who are just like, I just want to do my right. I just want to do my job and go back into my hole.
I get it. I get it. I don't blame y'all. Even a social media person, trust me, there's times where I put this phone to the side and I don't exist for a while. And then sometimes I have to show my face. Some of my friends go, you just love me on social media. I said, it's kind of my job. I kind of have to show myself, but I have no problem put that phone down and be like, let me just be here. So healthy mindset, people.
There you go. That's another subject that we have to touch on. We have, when you are an entrepreneur, you juggle so many hats and you do almost everything, especially as a small business owner. How do you keep your peace? How do you find that me time? And how do you make sure that you're maintaining your mental stability?
There's me time.
Right?
I was like, what are you talking about?
Sometimes not. You burn the candle at both ends, up the middle, around the back. You just you do it, and we feel like we can't not compete with our, with anybody else, especially the white male aspect of business. And they don't have the kids that they have to take care of, and they don't have a lot of the stresses that a Black female entrepreneur would have to do with. But we still try and do it. We have to maintain that me time and maintain our mental stability. Shay, what do you do?
Absolutely. No, we have to, right? Health is wellness. Health and wealth, they go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. One thing I think that has been my piece is I live by a calendar. And I tell people all the time, if it's not on my calendar, it does not exist. Yeah. So my no's are no's and my yeses are yeses. And it took a long time to get there, right? Because it usually was like, you call me last minute, I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can be there. Yeah, I can. No. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. So even on my calendar is like me time. Go get a massage time, sauna time, workout time. Like I'm putting all these things on my calendar so that I'm accountable to being there, not only just for me, but for doing what I say I'm going to do and then showing up in my fullness. Because I know when I'm at my best, I produce my best. And so I really am structured in the sense of like, even when it comes to family, because, family will pull us in all these directions. Yeah. Like, Mom, I can't text you every hour. Girl, it's not on my calendar. No, but I'm really serious. Like, you've got to find a calendar and you've got to stick to what you say you're going to do, because so many times it's easy to forget about ourselves because we're putting out fires all day. We have to be reactive in a lot of spaces. So the more you can set yourself up for like, this is what I'm accountable for today, it's the win. Trust me.
Yeah. Regina, what do you do? And you've got a lot going on. Because you are not only running CME catering, but you're in a race right now, correct?
Yeah, I am. I am a candidate
Regina!
A candidate for Arapahoe County Commissioner for District 4. So we have a caucus coming up on Saturday. So I'm just going to do a quick ask. And if you can caucus for me, sign up, register, caucus for me. I would love it. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate all of your support. Visit my website, Regina4Arapahoe.com.
Drop that in the chat, and I'll put it up there. But tell me, how are you? So on top of CME catering and running a political race, you've really got to focus on trying to find that me time so that you can stay fresh, and so that when it comes down to the stressful times, you can have that peace and calm. What are you doing to maintain your mental stability?
Surround myself with people that support me. Surround myself with people that are positive. Surround myself with people that have my best interest at heart. And I'm going to say that again, that have my best interest at heart, because everybody may not have that, and not in a negative way, but you might have friends that are like telling you yeah on stuff you're saying yeah on when they need to tell you no. That's a no, don't do that, right? Or the opposite, telling you no on things where it's like, no, go for it, I'm going to support you. But surrounding yourself around people that are going to support you, make you a better person, and that you're making them a better person, and know who you're around. And something, I have to say this, because something you said earlier, like both you and I know everybody on this call. And when you look at the collective impact of 50 years of relationship, what value would that hold if you're intentional in every interaction over the 50 years that we've shared together? What does that look like for each of us?
Right. I mean, the loyalty and the trust. I mean, those are two words that mean a lot Like you hit it, Regina. When you can trust somebody, when you have that support network behind you, you can conquer mountains. You can conquer mountains. Jessica, what are you doing to maintain? You said you just put your phone aside, and sometimes you just have to have your Zen moment, your focus, huh?
I'm gonna go everything Shay said because she's media. So as media people, everything she said times 1,000. Like if it's not on my schedule, I love you, but have a nice day. Like for me, it's been boundaries. I've had to set boundaries with people. They don't like it. Well, I'm sorry. In the media world, it's a fast-paced situation. We're constantly moving. We're constantly getting new clients. I'm not trying to be mean or nasty to harm a technician. I'm getting better with my customer service skills. But I've had to straight up tell people, they call me like, hey, I need you to come to this event and do a live stream. And I'm like, no. And they're like, why not? I said, because you're calling me 2 hours ahead of the event. Some people I'll be flexible with, and that's fine. And I was told by a
She's in and out there, but that's
No.
okay.
But she said our favorite word, boundaries.
Boundaries, yep. Yes, boundaries. And so, did you want to finish that?
Yes. So with that boundaries in your circle, you have 3 people that I would say you can bend and be flexible with because they benefit you, you benefit them in a healthy aspect. You just got to keep a limit. That's someone told me. But beyond that, keep people, boundaries. They're not there to be mean. They're not there to be nasty. They're there to keep you professionally checked, me professionally checked, everybody accountable. So then friendships or other things do not get messed up in the process. Because as networking, you make friends, you get to know people. But all I got to say, set them boundaries.
Isn't that something? That leads me to another question, because they're always told that a strong woman is what you want to see, but then when you're out there being strong and telling people no and setting those boundaries, they want to try and shame you and say that you're not strong, you're pushy, and you're overbearing, and you're insufferable. What do you say to those people? What do you say? You got to push through. You got to be you. You got to be true to you. You got to put them in their place with LVE love, but you got to be you.
I think that's why it's so important to know yourself, right? It's so important to be sure of who you are, because I do the work. My favorite quote that I tell everybody all the time is, the best project you'll ever work on is you. And I mean that sincerely. And so I'm working on me 24/7. And so I work on how I show up. And that's why when people say, it doesn't really necessarily shake me or move me one way or another, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, because I'm doing the real work on me. And so I'm really sure about who I am. And so as Black women, we already have to be like, oh, you're too aggressive. Oh, you're angry. Oh, you're loud. Right? Oh, you're mean. Well, all those things that you think, whatever that is, it got me to exactly where I'm at. And I'm working on being a better version every day. So I'm okay with those things. I'm okay with hearing those things, because I can't be for everybody, and that's okay.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Shay. I'm building that up.
It's a process.
Right?
It's a process.
You hit it on the head. I can't be for everybody.
I can't.
I'm an acquired taste.
Period. And that's a good thing, right?
Right? That's a good thing. You know what? A school bus has a lot of seats on it, but a Ferrari has 2 seats.
Hello.
I'm the Ferrari. And if that's what it takes for me to succeed and to maintain who I am and to be true to me, that's what we've got to do. I love it. Boom. So don't back down. Be you. Regina has our information up here. I'm gonna hook that in here a little bit. One of the things that we always like to do before we end is give everybody a dope black thought. This is Women's History Month. We've come a long way, especially Black women. We all know what we bring to the table and what we bring as entrepreneurs. What we've done in this country politically to advance this country. What do you want to say out there to the other? And this is women as a whole. What do you want to say out there to other women who are looking to us for advice, for guidance as entrepreneurs, as strong Black women? What do you say to the next generation coming up?
I'm going to say just very simple: honor yourself and honor others.
That's a good one. I love it. Honoring yourself. We just talked about that. Be true to you. The other part of that, Regina, is when you're loyal to those around you, they're loyal back to you. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So
Exactly.
our small circles, whether they're small or large, you are who you are. If you handle large circles of friends, then that's what you do. I ran into a friend of mine not too long ago, and we had a conversation about the different types of personalities that people have. Where she's more of a friend person. She has friends from when she was in grade school, and I'm more of a family person. And so I don't have friends from when I'm in grade school. Regina, I think you're one of my oldest friends, and I value that I still keep in touch with, I should say, and I value that. I'm more of a family person, so my peace and calm is when I get my mother and my daughters on the phone, and we have a good Zoom call. We crack each other up, we laugh, we are each other's best friend. However, you got to know where your what pleases you, what your um where your passion
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you touched on it. So I mean, I love that. Shay, what would you say to those out there?
Oh, I absolutely love that. On that space, like your vibe will attract your tribe. So please find that tribe.
I love that.
But what I would say is, and this is crazy, I wrote my first book last year, and it was 12 affirmations to shift your life in 1 year. And so I'm working on my second one, which is Black Girls Manifest Too. And manifestation has been a big part of where I'm at today. And the first affirmation in my book is very simple, but yet hard. And it's, you are enough. And I think so many times you just got to sit with that and know you are absolutely enough. And everything you need is inside of you. And you just activate different tools at different times to unlock those different spaces and those different things. And so many times we're looking for things outside of us to validate us, to tell us now's a good time, to tell us now we should, but we're absolutely enough, exactly where you're at today. And so I just want women to start to believe that and know that, and don't look for validation anywhere outside of you. Sit with yourself, look in the mirror, just start to say it to yourself until you start to believe it, because you are enough.
I love that. Yep, and you started it off right. Your vibe will attract your tribe, and you are enough. That'll preach. Remember that? My favorite person. That'll preach. Shout out to my pastor.
There it is. I mean, shout out to Pastor Emerson.
Yes.
We love you.
Okay, Jessica, what do you say? What do you want to say to everybody?
I am a young person, so to all my young people out there, I will say this.
Right?
I'm the baby here, okay? I'm making it clear. As a young person being inspired, Regina, stop texting me. You see how she is?
She's my social media person.
Text me, Regina.
My bad. I'm going.
I am her client. I said, drop my social in the chat.
And I was kind of like, wait, yours or mine?
I got hers. There we go.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I got you. I got you.
I'll
Regina.
back up there.
No, so pretty much I will say, as a young person myself, two things that have been very, very hopeful over the last 2.5 years. Have the right people in your corner. And when I say that, there are four parts of that corner. You got family, you got friends, you have your acquaintances, all right, people kind of around, then you have your mentors. And I say, with your mentors, pick your top 2 and leave it right there. These are people you go to outside of everyone, that if you are struggling, having a hard time, Regina already knows this, because that's what I do. I'll call her, be like, Regina, what do I do? You have people outside of your circle that you go to when times are distressful. Because as a young person, you're kind of still figuring things out. I mean, shoot, I'm in a fast-paced situation. I don't know everything. I'm going to admit that. I am young and fabulous, and I am grown, but I do not know it all. And so you have... Shocking. I mean, hey, young people out there, I know we act like we know it all, but we don't. Okay. Please, in your corner, as confident as you are as a person, have at least those good 2 mentors in your life. They're the ones that will make everything better. Because if you go to your family is fine, but sometimes mama might get mad, be like, I'm going to beat up whoever did that. Or I don't know, not beat up, but just, and you go to your friends, they're like, girl, please, it's just every circle's different. But my mentor circle has been and Regina, I count as a mentor and always will. Without her in that corner, I probably would not be as successful as I am today.
I love that.
I love it.
Regina, don't send me messages with some sad faces on it next. Don't do that.
And don't get me all emotional and worked up.
Well, I'm sorry. It's how I feel. Gotta express.
All I gotta say is look at sis dropping knowledge on us. She said you have your corner, your four corners. So I love it.
Like that,
Listen, that young knowledge, sometimes you gotta use it. You're empowering as much as that's the wisdom that's up here. Your young wisdom, it matches our old wisdom, and we're gonna roll with it. I love you, ladies. You are everything that I mean, you're so empowering. The comments that we've had on the show, everyone's loved you. I'd love to have you back. Whenever you want to be on the show, please reach out. I can't thank you enough for coming on and letting everybody know how fabulous you all are. Regina's running for, she's got an election coming up. I'm going to put her information back up here again. Regina, did you want to say something about it before we go? Caucus is coming up.
Caucus is on Saturday. Sign up now. Caucus for me. Regina, 4, Arapaho.com.
In the comments. Shay J, hit us one more time.
Yes, you guys, please follow us. I hope that you're ready for this year's Black Boss Summit because it's only going to get better. It's September 9th through the 11th. It's going to be fabulous. So follow us at blackbosssummit.com. We're also accepting speakers at this time. So if you're interested in being a speaker, go ahead, fill out that speaker application. We want as many people on the stage. It's all about making an impact. Follow my personal journey at IamShayJ.com. And there you can grab my book and learn more about what I have going on and help you with some affirmations to take you to the next level. And make sure you tune in every Friday to the Brother Jeff Network, where I am always, doing that political take in the Black way. I give you the Black news. So make sure you guys tune in and make sure you follow CTN Media, where we continue to change the narrative.
I love it. All right, Jessica.
Well, everyone check me out at SikaMediaInc.net or at Sika Media Inc. on all my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Check me all out. Follow me on my journey. And all I got to say is you guys are all fantastic. And social media is here to revolutionize everything we are as Black entrepreneur women and small business owners.
I love it. All right, ladies.
I am.
Great. I love it. This is a great show. I appreciate you all.
A-D-D-I-C-T-E-D. What is love? It's a drug. Let it rotate, then get back in it. Calling me an Uber just to get back to you. Use the cash out like pay, I send it. Is it really worth the wait? I don't get it. Divide and gravitate. Taste that wet emoji. Got